It's 2026, which means I think it's time for a new What's in the Bag. Let's start this What's in the Bag with driver. This has actually been kind of an interesting one for me this year. I didn't hit my ping, my previous driver, poorly by any means. In fact, I thought last year was probably one of my better driving years, but I just wanted something new to look at. And so I took this and made it a 44 3/4 driver. So it's much shorter. Had to change the weights out. Had to order a bunch of Titleist weights, but I think we got it dialed in. Shaft here is going to be the Ventus 5S, the Ventus Blue 5S, as you can see here, at 44 3/4 inch. It helps me get inside. Now, one thing I can also talk about, I can do a whole video on the testing that it took, the parts I ordered, and how I came to 44 3/4 and the reason why. If that interests you, drop a comment down below, or if that's something you'd like to see, let me know. This year, the 3-wood is probably where you are going to see the most change in my bag. Last year, I played a mini driver, and it was really good for me. This year, I bought the R7 mini driver, and to be honest, I hit it almost too well and not well enough off the deck. So I said, what if I tried and went back with a traditional 3-wood? I grabbed this Mizuno ST Max because it was like 120 bucks still in the wrapper from a PGA Tour Superstore. And I tested it against some of the bigger brand names like TaylorMade, the Callaway. It was probably 1 or 2 yards shorter and about $200 cheaper, so I went with it. And you can see this thing's brand new, looks good. But I just wanted better performance off the deck while still not losing much off the tee. And I got that with this Mizuno ST Max. You ever have a club that you kind of say, you'll take this from my cold dead hands? I will be honest with you, that is me with this Callaway Apex UW in 19 degree. It just hits the ball really well. Consistent carries about 200, 195, somewhere in there. And yeah, this is the original version. They've come out with newer ones. And I just really like it. I love the way it looks at a dress with that kind of naked crown, no alignment or anything like that. Just a club I hit really, really well. It probably could be replaced and maybe get a little bit better performance. But to be honest, this thing is just so point and click for me. Next club is going to be a 4-iron replacement coming in at 21 degrees. Now, a lot of people are playing higher lofted fairway woods. I personally have never been a big fan of like even a 5-wood. I feel like I see too much face. I sky it. Just don't hit it very well. So I'm more of a hybrid guy, so you see that 19 degree. This is 21 degree. To be honest, I could mess around with the loft and maybe get a little bit more carry out of it. Maybe bump it up a degree, but hit it pretty well. This thing feels like a hammer. I just measured the swing weight, and it's like E0 for some reason. So that's definitely something I need to look into. This thing is very heavy, but I do hit it well, so I'm a little reluctant to try it. You can see the weight is in the heel. One of the 2 heavier weights is in the heel. So, yeah, I really like this club and the way it performs for me. So in 2025, I really changed my irons from the Honmas. I was not getting enough spin with them anymore, and I needed something that spun just a little bit higher to hold some greens. And I found a great deal on these P790s, and I'll tell you what, I hit them really well. The shaft in them is a shaft I probably wouldn't have picked for myself, the KBS Tour Light in an S, but when you hit them as well as I did last year, you have no reason to change. So this year, just like last year, for most of the season, I played these P790s, and I think they're going to stay. They go 5-through pitching wedge. I might be able to squeeze a gap wedge in these. I probably should, just based on some distances and carries and things like that. But to be honest, I hit them really well, so we're going to continue with them in 2026. The grip on the irons is the Ionic Sticky. Really, really like it. I think it's a really, really good grip. It's soft. It's a little squishy, but still firm, so you get a little bit of feedback. Not going to tear your hands up like something like a multi-compound or a full corded grip. I really like it. They're a bit pricey, if I'm being honest. I don't know if they hadn't come on the clubs if I would be using them. I did have to replace the 7-iron grip, as you can see here. And when I did that, I just decided to replace it with the Ionic grip. So overall, really good grip. And I actually highly recommend it. Another change I made heading into 2025 was getting a new wedge in the 50-degree spot. One of the things before was I played the Cleveland CBX, had a lot of bounce, was more of a full swing club, and the 50 degrees still is, but I was spinning it a bit too much, losing quite a bit of distance. It was launching probably a little too high as well. So I moved into a more traditional blade style. Now, if you're a subscriber, you saw me do a review of this, and this is the RTZ Z Alloy Tour Rack Club 54-degree wedge. It looks really super beat up, but on the simulator, to be honest with you, it still gets pretty good spin. I still get 10,000 RPM on my little half quarter shots from about 75 yards out. This club was a true bright spot for me last year. Anybody who plays with me, who plays golf with me, will tell you I don't hit it very far off the tee box, but if you get me about 100 yards, 75 to 100 yards, I can be pretty good with this little thing. So I love it. It does look pretty beat up. That is the Tour Rack finish rather than getting rust. It just kind of patinas. And to be honest, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it works, right? The club works. I hit it well. No reason for me to change. So really like this club. Cleveland, if you're watching and you want to send me, 5 more, please do. I really enjoy it. Now this just might be my favorite club in the bag. I got it 2 seasons ago now, maybe last season early on. I can't exactly remember, but this is the 58-degree high toe from TaylorMade, the ATC grind. The first time I ever took it out, I just bought it, took it to like a practice, like a golf center where they have a short game area, was hitting some pitches with it, and just could not miss. My first 3 checks stopped about 1.5 feet from the pin, and I loved it. Worked through the grass really well. My favorite part, though, is you can see I am clearly using the grind in the most efficient way. There is not much copper left on that finish there. So I'm using that grind. Maybe I could be out on the toe a little bit more. But here's a fun fact. I usually get my wedges bent about 1 degree or 2 flat. I didn't do it with this one because I hit it so well and I was afraid to mess that up. So, yeah, you can kind of see I should probably bend about 1 degree flat. But with this club, if you look at a lot of the statistics, Titleist loves to put out if you play X amount of rounds in practice, you should get a new wedge after, X amount of rounds. And scientifically, that's probably true, but I'm still getting check around the greens, as much control around the greens as I have before. When I hit it on the simulator, it does really well there, as it does really well on that as well. So, yeah, no reason for me to change. And to be honest, I'm waiting on the new version of it to come out. They just released the MG5. In my mind, they usually release a high toe with the new wedges around the same time, maybe a couple of months after. So we just got MG5s. I would be really excited if we got a new high toe. So in 2026, I will be using 4 different putters, and each putter kind of plays a role in how I'm feeling, or carries some kind of sentimental value. So this is putter number 1. Probably will be the least used this year, but this is my Adele custom fit for me. I got this 7 years ago now. Adele are the leaders in putter fitting, and to that, I went to their headquarters outside of Austin, got fit, and was really happy with the putter. Every putter that I get is matched to the specs of this. So it will come in at 34 inches. It will be 67 on the lie, and then 1 degree of loft. I match everything to these specs because it was custom fit for me. Another nice thing that Adele does is they talk about their alignment, right? And so they offer you a bunch of different alignments at the top. The one that fit me best, that I aimed the best, was this 1 on top, 2 inside the cavity, kind of 3-line shape. So I go with that. Putter number 2 is the even roll Outback. I wanted some kind of mallet shape in the rotation this year, and you know, my Golf Spy used to, back in the day before the zero torque craze and lab putters came out, they used to really promote these even rolls. And like, I'm not the biggest My Golf Spy fanboy or something like that. I do kind of like what they do, but that's neither here nor there. But they talked about these grooves on the face. Let me see if I can get that in focus for us. These grooves here help get the ball on line. So those grooves will help the ball, if it goes out a little left, kind of come back towards the middle with a little bit of right spin, and opposite if it goes out to the right. So I always thought it was a bit of baloney, right? I didn't always believe it. And then I was watching, I think it was on TikTok, and somebody was talking to a club fitter, and this club fitter was like, or they asked the club fitter, hey, what putters do you see players using the most, or what gets you the best results? And he said, to be honest, it's the even rolls. They're just so consistent with launch spin, or with launch and the spin direction and the aim. And so I went out and I was like, if I can find one for cheap enough, I will get it. And this one's kind of beat up a little bit, but through one round and some putting green practice, it's pretty dang good, guys. So yeah, you'll definitely see this on the on the greens in some videos if I do any while I am playing. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you may remember that I named a Meridian putter as my favorite thing that I saw at the PGA show a couple of years ago. To be honest with you, I loved them there. I thought they were very, very affordable for a fully milled putter. I think they look amazing. If I set this one down, just looks great. This one has the 3 lines on it. Now, I haven't done anything special to this. I haven't got it bent or anything like that. I am going to do a review on this. I just had an opportunity to buy this for relatively inexpensive. And yeah, I love the way it looks. I was very happy with their product at the PGA show, and I can't wait to give this a true go and give it some good putts. So yeah, this one will definitely be in the bag at some point this year. And this here is the putter that will probably be in the bag the most. This is my custom Goodwood putter. This one has a lot of sentimental value to me. When my grandfather passed 2 years ago now, my grandmother had passed many years before that, but I had, they'd given me a little bit of money, and my grandfather, he was a golfer, and my grandmother loved to spend money irresponsibly. And so I reached out to the people at Goodwood, and they made me a custom putter. So really, really cool. Love the head shape. Love the raw finish. Love the rust that's on it. You can see it's got my last name in there. It's got the tour dot on it, which I think looks really cool. It has a stability shaft as well, so you can see the stability carbon. And then it's with the Super Stroke 3.0 grip on it. Yeah, this thing, it just looks amazing. It means a lot to me, and I just like it. It feels good. I make good putts with it. Did come in a little light, so I added some, it's got some lead tape on the bottom. Once I added that lead tape, it became really, really, really good. So, yeah, expect to see this in the bag quite a bit this year. So now we'll talk a little bit about accessories that I play. This here is the Ping Tour glove. It's a bit pricey. I will be honest with you. I usually have some kind of trade credit or some kind of coupon from PGA Tour Superstore for like $10 off for spending too much money there. And that's when I picked this up. Another fun secret, I didn't go this year, but every year when you go to the PGA booth, their PGA booth at Demo Day, you go to Ping's PGA Tour PGA show booth, they actually give you one of these gloves, and I fell in love with it there. And yeah, this is the one for 2026. Now I have 2 divot tools, 2 ball markers. You'll see the Birdie Corn one. I got rid of the Birdie Corn ball marker that was in there. It slid out too much when I was trying to repair it. I also have one from my friend's country club. I played in as member guest this past year. Wanted to get something to put in the bag. And then the ball markers, you will see a Samus one, Samus Golf, however you pronounce it. And then back there, you will see a Evolve Golf one. All 4 get used. What I will say is of the 2 ball repair tools, I do prefer the Country Club one. The Brady Corn's great, but sometimes these little corners up there, they can kind of poke you as you're trying to fix the green. And I know the Golf Crest one has that, but those are really rounded off. Then in terms of ball markers, you'll see the Seamus one has my initials stamped in the back. I did the stamping at the PGA buying show, so I really like that. But the other one is really nice as well. Has the US Team Mamiya logo on it. And yeah, overall, really like my divot tools and ball markers. Rangefinder is the Blue Tees Golf. This is the Pro 2. I have the Pro 3. That's actually the one I reviewed. But my friend really liked it, and he had this one. And I was in a charitable mood, so I gave it to him, and we kind of did a trade. It was that and a couple of beers. So, yeah. The Blue Tees rangefinder works really well. Shoots it quick, shoots it accurately, and I really like it. And then I play a lot of rounds by myself because I play during the week when my friends are working. That's just the nature of my job. But I do have a speaker. It is also from Blue Tees. It is the Player Go. I did have the Player Plus, but I believe that is on a golf course somewhere in Houston where I accidentally left it. Couldn't find it. Heartbroken. Went out. Got a Player Go. Really like this thing. Links up with their app. Their app will tell you the yardage and works like a GPS. You can actually link them up with other speakers, other Blue Tees speakers, so you and your friends can jam out to the same music during the round. That's kind of fun. It can be in 2 different carts. So really like this Blue Tees speaker. And here is the absolute best accessory that anyone has ever offered. If you don't have one, I think you should go buy it. This looks like an ordinary club brush. This is called the Groove It. If you haven't seen it, it actually shoots water out. You can kind of see the water comes out. And it is a godsend on the course, especially this time of year. I play a lot of muddy courses just because it rains a decent amount here in DFW. And when it does, you can still go out and play just a little soggy in some low-lying areas. You'll end up with some really dirty clubs. So being able to clean your grooves and clean your clubs out on the course with water, super nice. Pair it with a towel, and you're doing pretty good. Another must-have for me is my ShotScope X5 watch. You can see it's got fingerprints and stuff all over it. But this is a GPS watch, but also a game tracker. So what it does is there are little things on the back of my clubs that link up to it, and it tracks your score for you. It tracks your yardages. It tracks how far you hit each club, how you hit each club, what clubs you're good with, what clubs you're bad with. It measures strokes gained, strokes lost. And I got down to a 5.5 handicap last season, and I think this was a very big reason why that happened. So I highly recommend something like this, whether it's Arcos, whether it's the ShotScope, whether it's Blue Tees. The reason why I kind of like ShotScope for this in particular is the fact that there is 0 subscription. So you buy everything, and you don't need to rebuy it. So highly recommend this. Get you some kind of game tracker. I think it can really help your game. And all of it lives inside this very beautiful tailor-made vessel bag. One of my favorite things about it is up here, this kind of like velvet lined. I think that feels really nice. And yeah, everything lives in here. Love this thing. I am somebody who almost strictly rides carts rather than carry. It gets very hot here, but I still like having a stand bag because I find when I have a cart bag, it tips over a lot when I'm on the range or practicing or trying to set up something like that. So I prefer having the legs. I don't know if I necessarily need it, but I also don't need the extra storage. So that's the bag. That's everything that's in it outside of a tripod and a microphone set. But other than that, that's everything that resides in there. I didn't talk about golf ball because I may change it this year, even though I have a lot of my Srixon Z-Star Diamonds. I'm testing some other stuff this year too. If you have any questions or want to know more about the bag, let me know. Love to hear it from you. Talk about how I got to these clubs in particular.